It is Sunday, October 1st, 2023, and I am happy October. Um, excuse me. So, let's see. Things went well today. Um, Church was good. Uh, it was a contemporary service, which isn't my preferred method of church, but still a lot more worthwhile than not going. So, uh, Packers didn't play today because they played on Thursday and got completely trounced, so that wasn't so fun to watch. It's really hot in here today. I have my fan up a step, and I might need to put it up to its maximum setting here soon. Um, so, let's see. I never ended up streaming yesterday because I was told that uh, my dad would be by in the late afternoon, but turns out actually he was going to be there in the evening. Um, I was told 4:30, and it was actually like around 8:30, or I guess around 8. So, uh, streaming beforehand definitely would have been the right choice. I also was thinking of streaming today, but instead I have been doing something arguably more worthwhile. um, so I'm trying to figure out the best way to show it. First of all, I finally finished this thing up, um, so that you guys can see it. I like cross stitching. Um, so basically all that's left is for me to stretch it out one last time, maybe iron it to get rid of the crease marks, and cut off the excess fabric around the side and hang it up somewhere. Um, but I did I pretty much finished it in January of 2022, so like 22 months ago. Um, I did it over the Christmas break, 21 to 22, which, let me think. That would have. That was not a very good time. I didn't have any memories attached to that of that happening then. So the only thing I didn't do, the only thing that I had to finish up. Well, first of all, I still need to like actually finish it up, but I never. I always sign them with my initials and the date, which I was conveniently covering up with my finger when I was showing it. Um, so I just stitched that in there. Uh, and the reason why I wanted to do that is because I wanted to move on to the next project. I have a cross stitching project. You can actually see it right here. That I've been working on for like, oh, I don't know, 8 years. But it's so big that I end up taking breaks from it for whatever reason because I have other things to do, and then uh, it's so big that I get intimidated by it. So then I do a tiny project in the meantime, until. And then when I get done with the tiny project, I'm less intimidated about getting back into it. I kind of remember how it goes, I guess. So I'm currently in that intimidated stage. So, because, okay, let me think. I have pictures of a whole bunch of my projects. I need to put all the pictures in one place, and then Um, maybe I can show them in here. I don't know. One of my other interim projects I have in my cubicle at work right now. It's a picture of some robins over a nest, or around a nest. It's really pretty. I think that one is dated 2017. And then I don't remember. I remember the projects I've done, but I don't remember the order or the dates anymore. There's one that I did of some hummingbirds and some flowers that supposed to be a bookmark, but I never turned it into a bookmark, so it's kind of just finished and not. Well, it's done, but it's not finished, I guess. It would be the best way to say that. So, I don't know. The beginning and ending of a cross-stitching project are so much different than the rest of it. So when you get in the habit or get in the hang of doing a cross-stitching project, when you're starting one, it's whatever. Because you're presumably not working on one, or you just finished another one. But then when you get done starting a project and you actually start the actual cross-stitching part, you get in a groove and you get a plan. At least I plan out my cross-stitching projects too much, way too much. But that's what I find fun about it. So, what colors am I gonna do? I try to get all of each color done. Each color at a time done. So trying to figure out how to do that with using the least amount of thread. How am I gonna go pick up that one stitch that's far away from every rest of the color? What's a good color to start with so that you don't have to make these long threads everywhere? I spend way too long planning that all out, and in return, what I get is backs of my projects that look like this. If you don't know much about cross-stitching projects, this is impressive. At least I think it is. I didn't used to think it was that impressive, and then, I showed my grandma and some other people who have done this a lot, and they were like, "Wow." They were impressed by that. But that's the fun thing about it for me. Of course, I have to make every challenge I face technical somehow. I have to optimize it, but it really helps out. I mean, it's not bad. First of all, I have a lot of fun with it. Second of all, I don't find errors in my projects. I mean, it's possible that there are errors that I don't know about, but that's unlikely given how this works. Usually find errors when you're going back in an area, filling in the last color or something. Presumably you would find every error that you make, because you should be putting a stitch somewhere where there's already a color, or there would be an empty spot at the end or something. So really, if you're gonna find an error, you have to overlook it twice, at least. And so I don't find errors in my things. And probably that's a lot of probably mostly due to my choice of what colors do I do first, and then being very careful when counting in space for some of these colors gives me a good basis for other things. I have my screen on in front of me, and it just turned off, so that's what happened there. The other thing I do is, where is it? this is the it goes this way. This is the upcoming one that I do, or this is the one that I just prepared for what I'm going to do. So you can see there's all these little holes, and you can actually see me through it. Actually, so that blue light is the blue light that's actually on my webcam, so there's that. So all those little holes are where you poke your needle through, and then you do cross stitching by going from one hole to the next one, usually one square diagonally for the very, very, very vast majority of everything. But then, so these lines that I put in there, that marks the center line, which is marked on every pattern has the two center lines. So that's really helpful to keep track of. First of all, just to have a straight line is nice, but excuse me. It's also very nice to, well, let me think about that. Yeah, I mean, it's good to have the center line. Maybe I need to mark that in a little better on this pattern, just so I can see it a little more, but I don't know how I do that. It's probably fine. I'm somewhat regretting this. So, because what I do is, also on every cross-stitching project, there in your pattern there are larger blocks. There's thicker lines for 10 by 10 squares, and that's to kind of help you keep your place also. So what I do for that is every one of these lines, it's 5 squares up and 5 squares down on the boundaries of those lines, and you can see they don't line up at the center, and that's what I'm kind of regretting. Maybe I should have shifted these over so that they are on one of the lines, one of the whatchamacallit lines, one of the 10 square lines, instead of being directly on the center line. Oh well. It's good to have the center line marked, but it's probably better to have one of the 10 boundary, or the 10 square lines marked. Like I said, I'm kind of regretting that. It'll be fine. I'll just, like I said, I'll probably have to mark them. I don't know. I haven't figured out what I'm doing yet. You can see that I have 0 stitches on here yet. So, normally people do like 3 up, 3 down or something to just kind of just show where the center line is. But by doing the 5 up, 5 down, which I didn't read anywhere, I just thought of it myself when I was like, well, why do 3 up, 3 down, and then like try to count when you just do 5 up, 5 down, and then you know where all of your grid, all your 10 line bound, or 10 square boundary lines are. I don't even know what the name of those are. They probably have a name. So I don't know if you're into cross stitching, whoever's watching this, which is probably me, and so yes I am. Do that. That way you can know where the edges of those boundary lines are at all times. And that is also probably why I don't make very many mistakes in these things, because it's just, that makes it so much easier to count when you know where all of your boundary lines are. So, as you can see, I haven't done a single stitch yet in that, because what I've been doing for most of the afternoon is sorting out the colors. So, this project did not come with the colors pre-sorted. First of all, I had to take the big mess of thread and untangle it and figure out what colors were the same, which is a lot more difficult than you think with how fine some of these differences between these colors are. So also, that cactus that I've been showing you guys only had 6 colors, so it wasn't that bad to figure out. So this didn't even come with a card to put the colors on. So I took the previous one and added a bunch of holes with my pocket knife, so that there's 2 colors in each of these holes. The first 6 were the only ones that I needed for the cactus, and none of the colors actually overlap. None of the 6 colors that I used for the cactus are in this, which is, it would have been nice to kind of have a way to match something up. So, and then what you have to do, basically, based only on the name of these colors, you have to figure out which ones are which. So you can put them in categories based on how much thread there is. Like, for example, there's one of these. It looks like 2, but that's because I looped it around. So there's one of these, and there's 2 of these. It looks like there's 4, but like I said, well, I don't even know if you guys can even see. Because I looped it around, there's 2 of these. So I know that this one can't be this one, because I know in the pattern it says that there's 2 of these and 1 of these. But you don't know which one is which, and you have to put them in categories based solely on their names, basically. So I guess I don't know, I wasn't really planning on this, but just to show you guys, I'll read you the names of all of these. So I'll be going from here all the way down to there, and then up to there, and then around that way. So, just so you guys can see, let's see. Yeah, that works. I just gotta keep it steady there. Okay, there's 1 pale peach. There are 2 light peaches. There's 1 peach. There's 1 dark peach. There are 3 light yellows. There's 4 yellows. There's 3 yellow oranges. There's 3 golds. There's 2 oranges, 2 dark oranges, 1 light rust, 2 dark rust, 2 light yellow green, 6 yellow green, 8 dark yellow green, 2 darkest green, 7 moss green, 2 light tan, 2 light beige, 3 light rose beige, 3 brown, and then I think we're up to the top there, I don't know, 3 light taupe, 5 taupe, 3 dark taupe, 2 red brown, 3 pale gray, 2 gray green, 5 charcoal, 3 black, and 3 white. So, I don't know. Some of those are very similar. Like, telling the difference between pale peach, light peach, peach, and light rust was difficult. The difference between dark rust and red brown was difficult, because those also had the same number of threads. And then even telling the difference between charcoal and taupe was difficult until I figured out what the light taupe and dark taupe were, and then kind of put it in the middle. So that's there's no stitching involved with the whole setup to this project. I have not done any cross-stitching yet, and yet I've been working on this basically the entirety of the afternoon. So that's what I'm saying when I say the setup is a lot different than the rest of it. It took me a while just to make the 9 extra holes that I needed to just be able to double up the threads instead of having to put like 5 in each slot. I thought about it for a second, and it's like, I'm not going to be able to fit 5 colors in each slot, and then I wouldn't even be able to really tell the difference between them anyway. So that's why I cut the extra ones. So anyway, and now I have to, they're not labeled at all, so I'm just going to have to, it's not going to be that bad since I put them all in order, but I am going to have to kind of count up again and see which ones. So I figured out which one I wanted to start with. I figured that out like at the very beginning, and then I was like, wait, I have all this set up to do, so it's not really important. I'm going to start with the charcoal, because the charcoal, my screen turned off again. There. The charcoal starts off pretty much at the middle. I think it has a stitch like right next to the middle. And then all of it is contained around the middle of the project. So it's one that you can actually start and finish in one go without any other colors around it, which is not all of them. There's a lot of colors that are used in multiple places that kind of are in different sections. So like maybe there's 2 flowers, and if you wanted to get the entire color of that done, you'd have to count 30 squares, 40 squares, 50 squares or something. And that is where errors happen. So kind of looking around the center for what's mostly concentrated around the center, and then seeing if that branches out far away. That's basically what my process is for that. I'm actually looking at it a little bit now. There are some charcoal that kind of go away, but not like less than 10 squares. And it's by the middle, so I can count up from the boundary boxes, the 10 square boundaries, which is why I love having those. Makes counting so nice. So, I don't know, I've just talked for the last 20 minutes about cross-stitching. Oh yeah, I was gonna, that's the other thing, I forgot. I finally got the shelves up yesterday for my bookshelf. I don't know how long those have been sitting there. And after everything was said and done, I didn't even do the math right. So the bottom shelf, like the one that's a couple inches away from the ground, the actual bottom of the bookshelf, is that one is bigger than the rest of them, which I think is fine. Makes more sense than having something open at the top. I don't have anything on the top yet, on the top shelf, but I kind of put a lot of the books up, kind of arranged things in a neat order, kind of tells the story of myself in a lot of ways. So yeah, let me show you guys that. It's been a while since I've taken this. First of all, ta-da! There's my shades. They look nice. And then, there you go. You guys can't read any of those book titles, can you? Also, you can see my 3D printer is set up now over there. You can see the reel of it, the reel of black plastic filament. Anyway, so yeah, I hope that you guys would be able to see it better, but can't really. My robot's there on the top that I did for one of the final projects for one of my classes. Then yeah, that's part of the reason why I'm doing this cross-stitching project, is because I put some of my crafting stuff up there and I was like, wow, I need to do some more of that. The hole on the second to the bottom shelf there is where I put my cross-stitching stuff, but I've been working with it today, so it's me now. So, I don't know. There's my bookshelf. Finally did something with it. So, anyway. It's probably good enough for a video for today. I gotta see if there is another football game tonight, I think, but I don't know if I'll be able to watch it or not. Dad also brought the TV stand that he's been working on making for me. So the TV is up, but I don't have a power cord that works at the moment, unless I steal an extension cord from somewhere. Or, well, yeah. Anyway, that's it.